Hello everyone, welcome to High Ticket Closing Challenge. First of all, congratulations on taking the first step in effectively improving your sales call. Here is a quick peek at all the things that we are going to cover in this challenge. The whole challenge is divided into 5 modules. Module 1, we are going to cover what it takes to get into a high performance mindset and preparations for the calls. Module 2, we are going to find out how should we structure our calls in the section asking the right questions. Module 3, we are going to learn how to create that irresistible offer on the call itself and how should you ask for the sale without asking for it. Module 4, we will learn about the framework to resolve any objection that your prospect might come up with. And this is super valuable in itself. And finally, module 5, we are going to cover how you can gain a competitive advantage and rise above the noise while increasing your price. So, today we are going to cover one of the important aspects of sales, that is sales mindset. The power of a great sales mindset shapes every facet of your business. This is super important to understand and maximize. Having the right mindset has the power to drive your business. Alternatively, it can stagnate your business as well. Let me help you understand this through a very famous story. Once upon a time, a shoe manufacturer from Britain wanted to expand to new markets. The management team decided that Africa should be their new target geography. But before jumping into the market, they wanted a clear understanding of the market potential. So what they did, they sent 2 salesmen to Africa. The first salesman went to the east coast of Africa, while the second one went to the west coast of Africa. People of Africa were not introduced to the shoe till that time. It was early 1900s. So both the salesmen completed their survey and called back to the office. The first salesman from the east coast said, "Here no one wears shoes. Everyone goes barefoot. We will not be able to sell even a single pair of shoe here." While the second salesperson called and he was excited and he said, "It is fantastic here. No one wears shoes. We can sell millions of shoes here." Eventually, the company made millions selling footwear in Africa. The lesson of the story is having the right mindset creates opportunities and possibilities for yourself and your business. Being an entrepreneur, you must have come across mindset. It can be a very broad topic to cover. But in this lesson, I want to keep things simple and actionable rather than just talking about the broad level stuff. I have broken down the sales mindset into 7 simple techniques to follow on your call. And with practice, this will get ingrained in your brains and it will be like a second nature to you. So, the first thing to look for in a sales call is don't be enthusiastic. Don't be over enthusiastic. Prospects generally don't like over enthusiastic people. For example, who would you feel more connected to? Someone who comes up to you and say, "Hi, my name is Jack and it's a pleasure to meet you." Or someone, "Hey buddy, this is Jack here. Pretty good to see you. How's things been going on for you?" We all like the first one better because it's our first interaction and we want someone to be calm and friendly. And this response triggers a sense that people who are very enthusiastic are salesy and pushy. So, just being not over enthusiastic gives you an advantage of the call. You would be considered as a warm and helpful person to begin with. The second mindset point is stop creating sales pressure. This is something I've seen a majority of the people following in their sales call. When they are setting the agenda for the call, they seem to create an unconscious sales pressure. And they do this by telling them they have to decide to work with them at the end of the call. Your prospect has to take a decision at the end of the call. Since we are starting with the call and the prospect is not sure right now whether they will work with you or not. So it creates a sales barrier at the very beginning and just puts the prospects off. The third thing to remember during a sales call is it's about them and not you. Our mind makes us anxious during the sales calls. The whole call becomes an emotional roller coaster ride. This happens because we are more concerned about whether we will be able to close this call or not. I have heard someone even praying that the prospect does not come up with a lot of objections. They are praying in their mind, please God, this prospect should not have an objection. If we can just focus best on understanding the major roadblock in your in the prospect's business, we will be of much more help to them and the closing would become smooth and resistance free. The fourth point is we need to be an empathetic problem solver. Being empathetic does not mean agreeing to everything the prospect says. Being empathetic means exploring what the prospect is missing to understand in their business. They are on the call with an expert, that is you. You are the expert, they are here on a call with you. You have to understand them. Fifth point is you have to connect emotions with your solution. Humans are emotional beings. We take all our important decisions in our life based on emotions. Be it finding a career or a life partner, we tend to choose things that makes us happy and life worth living for. So if you could connect the solution to the emotion, which is obviously supported by the logical arguments, then the sales become easier and mostly a no-brainer for your prospects. 80% listening and 20% speaking. This is the sixth point to understand for a great sales mindset. This is one of the most difficult things to do on the sales call. Staying silent and letting our prospects speak. Most of the time, we try to impose a few of our ways of thinking on the prospect, disrupting their normal thinking. Eventually, it affects their trust in finding the correct solution with you. And they become super hesitant to make that final decision to work with you or not. Finally, the last and one of the most important thing to remember is advise as a friend. If we can understand them and become their friend and help them make the next best decision in their life, they would be much more at ease to start working with you. This also allows you to handle objections properly because as a friend, you are trying to handle their objections. or try to help them take the text issue. They feel cared and they understand that you want the best for them. So this is super important. So this ends the module 1 of our challenge. Head on to the next module to learn how to start a call with an advantage over your prospect and how to strategically ask questions so that the prospect recognizes you as the expert. See you in the next module. Bye bye.